All right. So hello everybody. My name is Linkus7. Today we're going to be doing a speedrun of Wind Waker HD any percent. Joined here by Narayesh.
Yes, hello.
But yeah, there's not much to go over. I have some things I want to explain when the run starts, but I think that's about it. So we can start the time in 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go.
All right, the time should start soon. Sure. All right. So.
I'm like sweating my ass off. I've never done this. I'm new for Movember.
Yeah, the time started. We're cool.
Yeah. All right. Good. All right. So, anyways, the first thing you're going to notice with Wind Waker HD is that this run is going to be played on the Italian version of the game. And all the versions of Wind Waker HD is about the same. The only difference is that specifically the Japanese version has a slower scrolling speed. So you do not want to play on the Japanese version. And out of all the available languages, Italian happens to be the shortest.
Uh-oh, they can hear me. Goodbye.
Oh, I thought it was just us. That's why I
Yeah,
kept talking.
same.
Okay.
Trust
okay.
me, same.
Okay. Well, I guess now all in chat got updated about how
Yeah.
sweaty she got. So either way. So the first thing that's going to come up right here in the run is also, unfortunately, the hardest one. This is the manual super swim. Yeah, you're still on planks. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So, okay, now we're good. We got out the tech issues.
We're
all
good.
right. So the first thing you're going to see is that I'm going to jump into the water right here, and I'm going to start pausing a bunch. And unfortunately, it requires quite a lot of practice, but basically, the objective of this run is to beat the game as fast as possible. That's why it's the any percent category. And the main item that breaks this game is first-person items, and the first one you can obtain in the game is the grappling hook. So I want to get there as early as possible. So the first thing I'm going to have to do right here is do what's called a manual super swim. So I'm going to jump in the water, and you're going to notice right now that I'm going to start pausing a lot. And basically, every single time you turn around in the water, you will gain a slight amount of backward speed. And the developers forgot to put a speed cap for how fast you can go backwards, which means that if I continue to turn around, I can keep getting more and more backward speed. The problem with this is that it only gives you speed for the first frame you turn around, which is, this run game's at 30 FPS, so it's 1/30th of a second. If you pause even one frame later, then you don't get any speed. And if I pause one frame early, I will lose a random amount of speed. So the amount of speed I need requires about 200 frame-perfect inputs, which means that I need to continue to have a rhythm to press pause and unpause frame perfectly at least 200 times. And I also need to, at the same time, press up and down on the analog stick at a separate tempo, which is why this trick is unfortunately quite frustrating. The fortunate thing about that is that it's the first part of the trick. It's only one. Obviously, at a marathon, it's a bit more monk-ass, though, because I do unfortunately have to get this. But the time is as a 1 hour and 15 minutes, so I should be able to get this, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a good enough estimate. Even if he has to pause and regain some speed by pausing a little bit more, it will still have enough time to gain the speed he's missing.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you're wondering how does Linkus know the speed he has actually, he's basically thinking for how long he's been pausing, because with the time he has an estimate of the average speed he has, and also how fast Link is moving after one frame perfect pause. Because he's moving a big distance, it means that speed is actually high, and that he's getting enough speed.
Yeah. You can keep talking about it, I'm just very focused.
I know. And also, what is a big run killer from the start is that not only you can lose the speed, but if Link is going in a direction, for example, towards the beach, if only one frame he touches the part of the beach, he loses his speed entirely, and he has to restart, which is why the manual super swim is also really reset heavy in the start of the runs. Think you're good?
Think so.
Let's see.
All right, so right now I have about 600 units of speed, which is 200 pauses. After that, I target the game and I hold up. And what is going to happen is if I target, the game wants to control the camera. So it's trying to focus on Link. The problem is with that much speed, I'm turning past the camera every frame. So it's going to try and start automatically turning around the camera every single frame. And by doing so, it will then automatically give myself more and more speed.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
unfortunate. If you land on if you touch the ground for 1 frame even, you lose every single one of your speed.
Yeah, so that's basically exactly what I just said, and it happened, which is unfortunate, but you know, you're just gonna pause more, regain the speed, be back soon.
Yeah, because basically, even though I paused for about 1.5 minutes for 200 times, that's only 600 units of speed, and I need at least, I would say, about 1,500 to go. And if you want to have a reference of that, normal full speed rolling in this game is 28 units.
Yeah.
So it's quite a lot faster. And since the distance is also very great, after I automatically spin around a lot, I have to get an air refill. And there's one part of this beach right here that does allow you to refill your air. The problem is if you go too far to the right, you might unfortunately hit the beach. And like I said, even 1 frame of touching it will unfortunately, with that amount of speed, force Link in a different animation of falling, which has a set unit of 0. So that just means you get basically killed in mid-place.
Yep.
But that's fun because, I mean, at least we're getting some nice music, some nice beats.
A good DJ section.
Yeah, you're practicing your Italian language skills,
exactly.
Pausa.
Also, if you're bored of Pausa, you can try and read the text that's on the bottom of the screen, but be fast because it's blinking.
I also need to make sure not only that I'm pressing up and down, but I'm not doing it with too much of an angle to the right or to the left. Because if I'm not doing it perfectly up or down, I'm going to scroll in the main menu of the pause screen, which is going to cause myself to get a pause lag, which could kill the entire trick also. So there's even more stuff on the background that I need to be very careful about. Now I kind of just have to do some, I kind of just have to like eyeball this, because I won't have the timer as a visual cue. That's why I like looked up to the right earlier. For example, right there, I could see that, okay, I'm probably around 300 or 400 units of speed because of how Link behaved.
Yeah, the more sensitive Links get when you move the joystick, the more the speed is raising, so that's a good cue when you lost track of time.
Normally I don't have to pause this long in a row, so...
Take a pause, take a breather, it's fine.
Because every pause requires 2 pause inputs, so...
Yeah, it requires 2 pause inputs because remember that you have to pause and then unpause in order to redo pause again. Yeah, you shouldn't be too far away.
Alright, let's check now. Okay, now we seem to not hit the beach this time.
Alright.
Alright.
You can do it, don't worry, easy.
It's not over yet also. I also need to make it to the island.
You should be good. You should be good.
Yeah, it should work.
Yeah, it should work. And the Aragon Roost Island is just right in front of us.
All right. Awesome. Okay.
All right, nice.
All right, now I'm safe. Okay. Whew. Okay. So normally this takes about, if I would play this game, about 35-ish minutes to get here, and I'm already here at 8 minutes in. So it basically skips all of early game, because normally on the intended path of the game, right, to get to Dragon Roost, I need to do a lot of things. For example, the first thing you notice is there's no boat here. I'm kind of just going to talk to myself like a crazy person. And that's because King of Reliance is not spawned into the overworld, because normally I'm supposed to finish all of Outside Island, finish the tutorial, get my sword, get my shield, meet the pirates, get the spoils bag, complete the first kind of dungeon, I guess you can say, and then I finally interact with King of Reliance and I buy the sail. This route won't even get the sail. Like, we're not going to sail a single time. So basically I'm just going to get to the Wind Waker and then I'm going to keep playing here. You're going to see some crazy strats on this island as well, because I basically need to play through this entire island without my sword. So I need to try and make up some smart strategies to actually be allowed to play through this section of the game without any other things. Also, I'm going to switch controller right here. I'm not a big fan of the Pro controller. It hurts my hands, unfortunately. So I kind of take that pause to first invert my camera, because I prefer inverted camera controls, and then just to play with the Pro Controller. You can still actually do fast equipping, because if you have your gamepad laying in front of you, which I do have, that's why I see the share right here, then I can kind of just equip my items as I'm moving around with my Pro Controller. Right here, there's just some text, so if we have some donations, that would be fine to read, actually.
Is that so? Yeah. We have an $11 donation from Anonymous, which I think I'm kind of late to, but I heard, pause, that there is a, pause, a really good speedrun, pause, during the main keynote, pause. Why do you do this to me? Pause.
Pause. Yeah, you hear it a few times. To say this.
For sure.
All right, was there any more donations, by the way?
Currently, sadly not, but I'm pretty sure chat can change that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm confident.
Also, chat. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but there's a thing called Twitch Prime. Not sure if you've heard about it. It's this amazing feature that Twitch introduced, which if you connect your Amazon account with your Twitch account, as you can see on the badge right here, you get Twitch Prime, and you can subscribe for free to the ESA Marathon channel. So recommend you all to smash that sub button.
Exactly.
All right. So, unfortunately, I do have to do at least, this is basically the only side quest I have to do in the game. So, to actually enter Dragon Roost, I need to get a bottle. And the only way to get a bottle is by getting the delivery bag, delivering one letter, and then you can basically go to Medley, help Medley out, and she will give you your bottle, right? And that is going to be the only time I do a side quest. Otherwise, after that, I'm going to actually do a dungeon rush mode, and after that, I'm going to go on a collecting spree, if you may say so. And there's a lot of crazy stuff that's about to happen after Dragon Roost.
Yeah.
So the first about 20 minutes or so have less stuff going on. Dragon Roost is still pretty crazy, but there's not too much. But then after a 20-minute mark, you probably is going to be constantly just explaining stuff because there's so much.
It's going to go fast.
Feel free to interrupt me at any time if there's cutscenes in the early game, because it's the best time to read them.
Oh, I will interrupt you. Don't worry.
But yeah, the main objective for Linkus right now is just getting through this section. And then once he has the main item that's going to allow him to do some really neat trick, he's just going to go on a quest, like a shopping spree, to get all the required items to just beat the final boss and be done with the game as fast as he can.
Yeah, exactly. You're also going to notice that I'm basically constantly mashing the A and B button. And that is because of the fact that on this game, there's two sets of text boxes, unfortunately. In the original game, majority, about 95% of the text boxes is automatically scrolling until you reach the end. Then you just have to press A to progress it. And then a few, you go with like, we call it instant text. Basically, if you press A, it finishes. Almost all game and almost all text in the HD version of the game scrolls faster if you press A and B. So you will see me constantly going tap, 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 to be mashing those buttons.
All right, we almost have the bottle, so we can almost success Dragon Roost Karen, and then get our first item.
Oh, we already got the delivery bag.
Our first important, our first important item. If you want to play with words.
Sorry, boy.
God damn it.
You know what else is important?
A donation?
Donations for charity.
Hog you.
We have a $25 donation from Quando1313 saying, "Hi Linkus and Net, good luck on the run, Linkus." Smiley face.
Smiley face, thank you. Where's the camera? There.
There. Smiley face.
All right. Second item.
Second item. Still not important.
Oh. I want to also actually say, for as a little fun fact while we're going through this, there actually is a faster way to get a bottle. If you're crazy enough to want to try and learn how to flick an analog stick 30 times per second so you don't have to pause for the manual super swim, you could get another one. And it would save you probably a minute. So if you learn how to flick your hand 30 times per second, then you could, in theory, optimize this route. But so far, the furthest we've been able to do is a short distance, but it's obviously not that great for your hands going like I can do it for a short bit, but it gets really tiring.
Some people have tried it and they got really, really bad injuries because of it. So do not do it. No one would recommend doing it, honestly.
Yeah. Not recommended at home. All right. So now coming into the first dungeon, you're going to notice that the only items I have is the Wind Waker, the bottle, and the delivery bag. And normally at this point in the game, what you would have at least would be a sword and a shield. So obviously this dungeon is I guess expecting you to have a sword. However, thankfully there's basically a function in the game that's not very used, only really in the beginning of the game, because if you look at like the beta content of the game, this was supposed to be a more important detail. So it's only really for the first dungeon in the game it's actually being used a lot, but that's very much to our advantage in this situation because if an enemy has an item like a sword or like a stick in this case, and you hit him, then you can always pick it up and use that as combat items. So because there was like pots and like rocks, you name it, around the area, and that always knocks them over. That means that if you knock someone over with an object, you can just take up their weapon and use that to progress. So I'm going to use that for the first room. Right here, these barricades, you can actually break them with a rock. So I'm going to pick one up. You're also going to notice that I try and side hop right there, and that's just because it's slightly faster to side hop than walk, since you can't roll with a rock in your hand. And I'm also going to pick up some rupees. Unfortunately, I will need 10 rupees, but it's not too much, so it won't be too bad.
Yeah, the really interesting thing about Dragon's Cavern is that a good half of the dungeon almost feels like it's designed to not be with a sword, because you can hit everything with a pot, a rock, or pick up a stick from enemies, and you can beat half of the dungeon without a sword and without a shield, which is really interesting.
Yeah. Also, right here, I do a small cutscene skip. You can kind of see how the camera kind of flicks there for a split second. It's supposed to play an animation of a platform spawning on the ground. However, if you have it perfectly aligned behind you, then the game can't really properly do its animation of panning over to create the platform. And they actually have a function in the game for multiple animations here that if you cannot show off the animation properly, it's just going to skip it. So that's one of the situations like that where you might not notice it as a viewer, but it's actually very precise with the camera controls, because I need to make sure not to let that play, or I lose like 5 seconds, which in a speedrun it comes down to be quite important.
Especially in 8%.
Yeah. You're also going to notice, actually it's pretty, I guess it's kind of nice that you can see almost like a controller cam. And one of the annoying things is that both the Wii U Pro Controller and the gamepad, basically all the official supported controllers we allow, for some reason Nintendo designed the Wii U's C-Stick to be upside here and not on the down. So you will see me constantly basically sitting like this with a claw grip, because I need to be able to move around with Link at the same time as I'm changing the camera. So I'm basically constantly sitting. And I guess in the beginning it's very uncomfortable, but you get so used to it that it just kind of becomes second nature. Not a bad cycle.
Yeah, no, really.
It's actually kind of interesting. So Dragon Roost is entirely built on a cycle. So that lava cycle, even though it's all the way out here, actually starts the second you enter the dungeon. So depending on the movement you have throughout every room will determine which part you have here. Nice. Right there, I'm supposed to hang on that ledge. However, every time you climb up on any ledge, if there's an object in front of you, it takes a split second, basically 1 frame, until the game pushes you off. So if you frame perfectly roll there, you can basically get enough speed that it causes a jump instead of you to fall down. So it saves about 5 seconds doing that. And you will see a bunch of that. For example, right here, it's slower to do a climbing animation. So if I do a frame perfect roll right there, I save like 0.4 seconds climbing up. So I will do that basically on every ledge like this throughout Dragon Roost. And it's part of the reason I really enjoy swordless Dragon Roost, because it like rewards like so much small stuff that it stacks up to be a good amount.
It brings out every optimization in you that you can do to just save the second that not having a sword loses for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would say at this point, in the beginning we used to say that it lost like almost a minute not having the sword. At this point I'd probably say it's probably only 10 seconds or something.
Yeah, 10,
like,
20 seconds.
It's not even that much, because we've kind of just worked up so many strategies for getting around it. Right here, you see that I don't roll because for some reason, all of those stone stabs are not equally created. And depending also the angle, you sometimes bonk. So some areas I choose not to roll because there's a possibility of bonking. This room is quite easy. Just pick up a stick and basically just burn the 2 parts here.
This one is straightforward.
Yeah. The next room, basically the next rooms right here without a sword is just going to come down to trying to do the combat with the enemy items. Yeah. There is some luck involved, especially if you're doing like record attempts, because if you're really lucky, they all stand next to each other. So because the sword is so big for Link, he can get all 3 in one hit. Sometimes you only hit 1, sometimes 2, sometimes they hit you again. So it depends on...
Yeah, it depends on that guy because he gets thrown so far away with the little pot that he can lose aggro sometimes. But see, exactly this time he didn't lose it and he joined the others.
What hit me there?
Yeah, I think it was the late kick that hit you.
Yeah.
Okay, not that bad actually, not that bad.
That was actually really fast.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people when they play this game casually probably know about spin attacks. If you hold in the B button, you charge up and you spin around. Orca, the guy that teaches you the sword mechanic, actually teaches you another mechanic for it, but he only mentions it in like a paragraph. And it's that if you spin around the analog stick and you time your B input during the spin perfectly, then you can actually get a quick spin, as we call it. And because of that, we only use quick spins. By the way, coming up soon is the grappling hook. So if you have any donations, this would be a good time.
I mean, I heard you like memes, right?
Yes.
God.
They're your favorite, right?
I'm scared.
Yes.
So first of all, we have another $5 donation from Quando1313 saying, also, not a sub-10 bottle. Feels glad, man. But we also have a $22 donation from Pogger's Command, and I need the crowd for that as well as the chat. Raise your hand if your name is Smiley Face.
Wait, they have proof on screen
No.
that it's not true. No.
It's also only you two guys.
Wait, really?
Yeah, people didn't follow. Damn.
Oh. Can we get a refund?
Can just donate again.
Yeah, also.
We're smart.
We're smart. Good strats.
At least we're both happy.
Yeah, it's fine. You know.
The rest of the crowd got pissed because they didn't get sub-10 bottle.
Exactly.
Don't worry, chat got your back, guys.
Alright.
Nice. Thank you, chat. Appreciate it.
Alright, so coming up here is the grappling hook. So, basically, this is the entire purpose of going Dragon Roost, because I'm not going to beat any dungeons in this run. Those are not necessary for me. So, the only reason we're going, like I said, is the grappling hook. So, the second I get the grappling hook, I'm just going to save and quit. And this is when you're going to see your first example of basically flags in this game. So, Wind Waker is built around a lot of flags, and the purpose for that is for the reasoning that they don't want the casual to break the game. So if you somehow go out of sequence, if you save and quit or game over, you will get put back to where it like determines you should be at this point in the progression. So we're actually going to use it to our advantage here by saving and quitting, and that will put me back at Outside Island because I'm not supposed to have gone past this yet.
Yeah.
The second when I get past now to Outside Island, I'm going to use the main glitch in this run, and this is item sliding. So if you have a first-person item and you walk a direction on the analog stick, and then you, on the next frame, go in the opposite direction, you're basically going to start multiplying your speed every single frame, and it's going to multiply extensively. So because of that, I can have fast overworld movement, but I can also maintain a lot of speed on the ground and then slowly walk into the water. And that will allow me to, because I'm going backwards in this glitch, keep the speed because there's no speed cap for it. And it allows me to super swim anywhere. So I'm going to super swim to this submarine right here, and I'm going to be caught by this guard right here. And the reasoning he behaves this way and basically wrong warps me right now into Forsaken Fortress is because to save memory on the Nintendo GameCube version of this game, they made the flag for if it was going to act like an enemy or a guard only determined by if you have a sword in your inventory. So because of that, I can basically just go up to them, and because I don't have a sword, they think I'm supposed to be here. So it throws me right into jail in Forsaken Fortress 1, and I can then start playing through it. So the first thing I'm going to do when I get here is I'm going to have to get around another flag in the game. To determine if the pirate ship should have the spoils bag or the bombs, it's determined upon if you took up the Gossip Stone. So even though the Gossip Stone is not useful for me at all, I do need to get it. So I'm going to roll down right here, or item slide, so that I can go and get the Gossip Stone. And it's going to be used later for getting the bombs. And you're also going to see a lot of the movement mechanics that can be used with item sliding. For example, you're going to see that I'm going to use it to go around here faster, as well as doing like item slide jumps. Basically, if you target with the grappling hook, you always go to the left. So that means that all the speed you got is going to be put towards the left direction in one frame. So for example, right here, I'm going to line myself up with this pillar, going to item slide into the corner, and then tap left, or target. It's going to fling me all the way over here, because that was my exact left positioning. And then kind of allows me to just teleport all the way through Forsaken Fortress. I'm going to turn around right here, get a straight angle, item slide, hold up, right. You can jump across that gap. And also this spotlight right here, you're supposed to kill a guard, but because I can go past it in less than a frame, I can just skip it. I'm going to grapple that guy to skip a cutscene and get the sword, and we're done with Forsaken Fortress 1.
That's a pretty fast one. Yeah, that's the main thing, interesting thing about Item Slide, is that the main trick in itself is easy to reproduce, but mastering it and learning all the movement option around it, like island hopping, simply moving with the target button, it's what makes the speedrun itself so interesting and so fast.
Yeah, exactly. Have any more donations?
Well, not certainly a donation, but I have something to tell you guys.
Oh.
Did you ever wonder how Tetris looks when it's really, really hard? Well, that's certainly what you're going to see, but we also have an incentive for what it's going to look like when it's very, very easy, for whatever reason. We're currently, for Tetris, the Grandmaster 3 Easy modes at $26 out of $300. So if you want to see a very, very easy Tetris round, I guess, make sure to get your donations in for that.
Sorry that speech didn't make much sense, because when he said, have you ever wanted to watch Tetris hard, I'm like, it always looks hard.
Yeah, it always hard.
Tetris is the real business.
True.
And now it's on the Switch, so...
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tetris 99, everybody.
Nintendo even makes a tournament with Tetris 99. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I got like 10 wins on it. But I don't want to talk about how many hours that took me.
The addiction is real.
Yeah. Well, the unfortunate thing too is people are actually getting good now.
Yep.
So I can't win anymore. Alright. But yeah, the reason I asked if there was any donation is because there are some cutscenes right here that you have to go through. The reasoning why these has to be watched is because this cutscene right here spawns King of Red Lions into the Overworld. So for example, if I went to get the Wind Waker now, he would actually appear.
Yeah.
This is what causes it. And if you never spawn this King of Red Lions into the ocean, you would just crash. So unfortunately, we have to do this to beat the game.
Let me sum it up for you. He wants more donations for charity, guys. I know you can do it. I believe in you.
It's a fair point.
Yes. Yeah, keep in mind that the Tetris any percent, easy percent mode is for charity.
True. So in the end, it's a win-win situation. You get to see Tetris, which is a good game, and you participate into charity. That's good.
Yeah. And you get to watch it and think, wow, this is easy. I still suck.
It isn't called the Grandmaster 3 for a reason.
True.
So.
Fair point. Very fair point.
But even afterwards, if you're not a Tetris fan, we have something that probably even more people are interested in, which is Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice by Savy. And
That's a
I'm
good
pretty
one.
sure a lot of people want to see that one. So.
For sure.
What game is that?
It's you know, like the Dark Souls series.
Uh-huh.
It's like what is that? It's part of that series, but it's part.
Cool.
It's in Japan and stuff with samurais and stuff. It's really cool.
So it's one of those games you die all the time?
Yep.
Okay. I'm not good enough for that.
Me neither.
And who's running that?
Savy.
Savy.
Cool.
Awesome. Shout out to Savy.
Also, shout out to your earlier shout out for Twitch Prime.
True.
Did anyone snap on the deal?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
nice.
We got a couple of very awesome people leaving their
Nice.
Twitch Prime at twitch.tv/ESA Marathon.
Awesome.
We're proud of you guys. Good job.
All right. So now when I'm finally done with the cutscenes, we are now going to start our objective of basically the main part of this category, and that is get items. because I'm basically going to go in item rush mode now. I want to get all the items necessary to beat the game.
Yep.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Dragon Roost, and I'm going to enter Beetle and leave. And that is just because I need to set it so that the most recent location I was at was Dragon Roost. After that, I'm actually going to swim outside of the ocean's boundaries, since the boat won't stop me. And the purpose for this is if you go too far outside of the ocean's boundaries, the game is going to void you out. And that is very important because I need to be in boat at least once, because that fixes a flag in the game. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of like random flags around the game just to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to.
Yeah, the game really tries to lock you in the story and what you need to do and not get you out of it.
So after I do that right now, I'm going to do a very difficult trick, and you also hope you like the pause sound because you're not going to have a tick sound. So I'm going to try and do a frame-perfect target for this item slide. The problem is there's no good visual cues for this trick, so I'm going to use a metronome to try and help myself time it. If I am 1 frame off before or after, I could still back it up. If I don't, though, however, I will need to retry it. So we'll see how this goes. I haven't tried this metronome, but I mean, a metronome should be a metronome.
It's also why I grabbed rupees, because entering that minigame costs you 10 rupees, so it's why I just picked up a little bit of rupees at the start of the game.
Can you hold the phone just like that so I can see it?
Sure.
I want to see the dots.
Wow. Wow. It's a really good one. Not bad, wow.
Okay. So the purpose of that is I need to basically have the exact amount of speed that in 1 frame I need to go from the flight control platform to Dragon Roost. And that's because that minigame enters a specific state in the game where I'm now in a minigame. You can hear the music is different and there's some things different too. Like if I was going to walk around and do a glitch showcase, you would see that a lot of items aren't loaded. And that's because instead of having a separate room for that minigame, it's in the overworld, but it just has a layer, and it determines what items should be loaded. So you can see right now that the pirate ship is at outset, and the bird is at the beach, just like in the early game. It's because this layer right here has the outset pirate ship. So that allows me to enter it without doing any side quests to get the pirate ship normally, and I can get bombed straight away. And that's like definitely one of the most reset heavy points. That's the one reason I did not do this trick actually at my last GDQ event, because I deemed it to be not consistent enough, but I thought I wanted to show off a route I've never done on a marathon before. So I did a good amount of practice to hopefully get that down.
It was a really good one, though.
Yeah. Yeah, this has never been seen before in an event.
It's like special ESA.
Yeah. Alright. And now we're going to do ropes, and if you remember failing ropes 1,000 times as a, playing this game casually, trust me, it's not the same as a speedrunner as well. These ropes always, unfortunately, are quite trolly. You can kind of learn what timing to use to get them fairly consistently, but they can definitely still troll you. But yeah, they're just overall broken on both versions of the game. A little bit better on HD, but...
And if you were hoping for them to fix them on HD, they didn't.
No.
A little bit, but they tried, but they failed miserably.
Yeah, it's more consistent, but there is still like now there's a luck element to them having a weird pattern. While on the original version, speedrunners actually prefer those, just because you can learn how broken they are, so you can make them consistent, basically. Now it's just kind of luck-based if they troll you, because it can give you a random swing with an X amount of speed in any direction, which could unfortunately mess you up.
And yeah, so the bombs are the first items part of the shopping spree we have to do.
Yep.
And the next one should be the leaf. Or the quiver. Do we get the quiver first? I think we get the quiver first.
Yes.
Yeah, we get the quiver
That
first.
is correct.
Indeed. And if you're wondering why we are getting a quiver, it's because we're not going to get the bow the casual way. And when you get the bow normally, you get both the bow and the quiver as individual items. But because we get the bow from a cutscene and it's going to be given to us normally, we will be missing a quiver, which means we won't be able to shoot arrows at all. So we have to pick up a quiver separately, and it's where Linkus is heading right now.
I'm actually going to give more speed
Yeah,
for safety. It's a marathon. I would probably risk that in a speed run, but...
yeah, take it safely.
Staff might not be happy if I fail too much.
And if you also, he also takes out a bomb after doing an item slide, because taking out an item like the bomb or the hammer locks Link's speed, which means he cannot gain anymore, and he can safely under the water to start a super swim and go where he wants to go.
This trick is unfortunately very, very inconsistent. So I need to go inside of this fair island early. And there's a part of this floor, basically when you get a height difference with item sliding, you see how the floor kind of goes flat here?
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Wow. That's great. Okay. So when the floor goes flat, you can actually clip through it. The problem is too little speed, then you won't. Too much by even a few values, and you land on the other side, because how precise that is. And the problem is, to do this trick, I said like I hold slightly down an analog stick, right? Well, it is like value perfect and position perfect, and that's the problem, is that you can't really know when you're holding down if you're holding, you know, value 12 or 13, and that makes the difference. So even in where record pace runs, and even many where records, you usually get it second or third try, because you can't afford it because it's fairly quick to retry, but it's very rare to just get that first try. So that's really, really fast. Right here I need to do an item slide because I'm basically stuck right here. So I need to do an item slide to get out. And you might be wondering, why didn't you just item slide through here to begin with? But that's because there's actually a one-way invisible wall behind them. So I can't enter there, but I can leave that way. After that, I'm going to do an item slide against this pillar, charge up some speed, and go to Forest Haven.
Yeah. The shopping spree continues for the leaves now.
This is the last item I need. So literally all I need in this game is a grappling hook. I need bombs, I need a quiver, and I need Deku Leaf. After that, I'm completely ready to beat the game.
Yeah.
So this is the last mission I'm going to be on for now.
Well, while you keep shopping, we have some donations for you.
That is all right.
We have a $5 donation from Ginger Ale saying, "Hey Linkus, good luck on the run today. And also, Nat, try not to get banned, okay? Love you guys." We have a $5 anonymous donation. And we also have a $25 donation from Daku, or Deku, one or the other, saying, "Hi Linkus, if you don't have your magic button to ban Ned, how do you ban Ned IRL? Much love, boys." And we have a $5 donation from Ace3 Scoot saying, "To our boy Linkus, thank you all for the hours of entertainment. We miss you in chat, but as it is for charity, we don't mind sharing you with TwitchCon, just for a bit. Good luck with the run."
Thank you, guys. Yeah, if you guys don't know, so it kind of became a meme because people figured out in my chat that banned, if you had a space in the middle, was ban Ned.
And since
so
my nickname
it
is
became
Ned.
it became a long meme.
Yeah.
So when I got a stream deck, I added a button purely for banning him, so
Thanks,
I could do
Elgato,
it.
by the way.
Yeah, thanks Elgato. That was the stream deck. So it allowed me to ban him at any point. So it's been used a few times.
Just a few. It was funny actually because Twitch recently added, you know, like the moderation tools, and they show the amount of bans. But because it stops at 99 and then it becomes 99 plus, my amount of bans in this chat is plus 99.
Yeah.
So you cannot know how much times I've been banned.
Yeah. We need to update. We need to contact staff about updating that. We need an exact number for scientific purposes.
Did I hear the Deco Tree talk about memes?
Maybe.
Pretty sure. We have a $30 donation from Prince Zelda saying, "It's pun time." Does anyone gets the link?
Wait, can you say that again? What?
Does anyone gets the link?
I mean, I understand it's a joke with Link's name, of course, but like...
I don't know if we're dumb or if it's a bad pun.
Maybe,
but,
maybe both. I don't know. I don't know.
Thank you for donation to charity.
Thank you.
Don't worry, chat is also confused.
Okay.
Good. We're not the only one. Okay.
Feels okay, man. Feels okay, man. Yeah, can we get some feels good man in the chat? I really appreciate it. Maybe some happy faces.
Some smile.
Yeah.
If you guys feel like smiling, just go ahead.
I would like to say that there actually is one trick I particularly don't do that I could do right here, and that is you can do a Deku cutscene skip. Unfortunately, there is a slightly easier way that is gamepad exclusive, but with the Pro Controller, which is what I use the trick is triple frame perfect, and it saves 40 seconds. So I need 3 frame perfect inputs for 40 seconds of time save, and you lose time if you don't get it first try. So for a marathon like this, it's definitely not worth it, because I would say like half the runs die to that. So
Mostly, even more than that, yeah.
yeah. Also, I know I'm on a bad part of the cycle, so
Don't go for it.
should we go for it?
Nah, honestly, take it safe. Do you want to do it? Just look at the leaf. Just look at the leaf moving and you'll see.
All right.
Okay. Save 5 seconds, nice.
So if the platform moves away, which I knew I was on that part of the cycle, it's only 3 pixels to land on the leaf, and that trick only saves 5 seconds and loses 45. So it's one of those choices that where speedrunners are not the smartest because we choose to go for it. Well, we really shouldn't, but hey, it looks
You
cool.
know.
It looks cool.
And 5 seconds is 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It's always 5 seconds.
All right. So coming up here is the biggest reasoning actually why I chose that I was even considering doing this route at a marathon. So coming up here is I need to basically enter Forsaken Fortress 2 early, because that is the main part where this run works. And we used to do an old method where we used to get basically on the load specific object, you know how I did earlier with the minigame. And there was a way to not have to do that by doing something we call door clip. The problem was it was luck based. It was luck based, and it was basically luck based, required a perfect metronome, and on top of that it required like multiple frame perfect inputs. So it was not consistent at all. However, we did find a way to get it more consistent fairly recently. It's still very, very difficult, but I put a lot of practice into it. It should be fine. I also did a lot of warm-up and practice runs before USA. But basically my goal is to clip under a door and have a perfect value to where I can jump in a bounce after I go under the floor. And if I'm able to land inside of this door, I can then enter the loading zone to beating Forsaken Fortress 2. And the reason why that's so important is because that actually marks the halfway point in the game, which means that it allows me access to Hyrule 2, even though I'm not supposed to be able to be here yet.
It's another one of those flags that the game still locks you in.
Yeah, exactly. No, not enough speed.
So it has multiple cues that, based on leg movement, that shows if you have enough speed or not. If he, for example, jumps in place or goes a little bit in the ground, like you just saw, it's an indication that Link does not have enough speed to clip.
That's unfortunate.
That's another one of those, yeah. You can get it, don't worry.
I also need to do all of these pauses frame perfectly. And you cannot pause early or late. And if I pause early, that's when you hear that sound cue of boom.
Nice.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. So so normally you don't get access to this until you have defeated Phantom Ganon. The problem why we can't do that is because you cannot deal damage to Phantom Ganon unless you have the Master Sword. And to get the Master Sword, I need to defeat the first 3 dungeons, get all the 3 pearls, go down to Hyrule 1, and that takes obviously a very long time. Even if I would do the fastest stretch possible, the earliest I could get here doing everything I'm supposed to would be a little before the 2-hour mark. It would take me about an hour and 40 minutes. An hour and 40 minutes. So doing like getting all the items and then going here is about an hour faster. So it's definitely a very important strat you would like to do. You're also going to notice something weird right here. She looks over at nothing, and that's because just like how King of Red Lions wasn't spawned in the overworld until I beat Forsaken Fortress 1, the pirates are not properly, the captain I should say, are not spawned properly into the overworld until you interact with the pirates on outside island, but I never did that. So one of the pirates are actually invisible right now, so there's going to be some kind of a weird circumstances right here.
Just out of nowhere, your little sister is going to develop superpowers.
Yeah.
And you're going to show off, really.
Yeah, you see right there
Yeah,
that
exactly.
one of the girls just kind of floats away. And also pay attention to something that's going to be very important later. If you see right now, you can see that I have an actual sword and no shield. The hero sword I got from Forsaken Fortress 1 and no shield. And you should notice a difference on in a little bit. So I'm going to point that out beforehand so it makes some sense what's coming up.
And you hear a bit of a voice acting and Tetra giving looks at absolutely no one.
Yeah. And now Sush's just gonna fly away.
Here we go. And she's out.
TwitchCon EU Hearts.
Yeah, good find.
Guys, Tetris, Grandmaster 3, Showcase, Easy Mode, 244 to go. Do I need to say anything else? I don't think so.
No.
Get your donation in.
Yeah, really, go for it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
All right. So I'm gonna be a little bit rude right here. I know that this bird kind of wants to hang out, but it's no joke the most broken boss ever. I can think of over 5 different ways to skip this boss. It's not the best design because it doesn't like give you a teleportation or like a portal. It basically just unlocks access to a door, which means that if you can just get access to a door, you can skip him. So I'm gonna item slide all the way up here and then get behind Helmrock. Then I'm gonna climb up, I'm gonna walk towards him, which will push me out of bounds inside of the floor. I'm gonna crawl under the railing, jump up on the railing, then walk around in first person around. And then, because I'm in theory out of bounds right here, I can just jump back in a bounds behind the spikes, item slide up, and we have officially now skipped Helmrock. That's it.
Done.
And also, if you pay attention right now to the cutscene, you're going to notice something. You're going to notice that you're going to notice a very amazing mechanic for speedrunners that the developers made for Wind Waker HD. So to make sure that the cutscenes are played perfectly, because they care about the circumstances, they hard programmed in what items is used. So you can see now that I have a shield, I have a tunic, and I have a fully charged, or I have a level 1 marked Master Sword. The tunic specifically is cosmetic and won't stay. However, the Master Sword in this cutscene and the shield are actually staying even after the cutscene. So I have them officially inventory. Because since these are not pre-recorded cutscenes, it basically is programmed right item value for sword and Master Sword in this case to the B button and the shield button. And because it basically equips those items, you can never officially, you can temporarily downgrade your equipment, but you can't permanently downgrade your equipment, which means that I officially have these items now. So in a casual playthrough, for example, you would actually duplicate your Master Sword to an identical Master Sword, but you wouldn't know, right? Because it's the same item. But in this edition, it's pretty obvious what happens, right? So
And don't worry, for all you lobster shirt lovers, Link is gonna get his pajamas back after this cutscene, so don't worry, everything is fine.
yeah, it was just a little bit cold and worried going up to Ganon.
You want it to be a bit serious, you know? Let's take it serious.
And another important factor to notice is that, like, the biggest point after I get all the items is I want to make it to Hyrule. The problem is one flag in the game is indicating if you should watch early game cutscenes or end game cutscenes to avoid you from sequence breaking. There is a difference. And, like, to give you an idea of why it makes such a big difference, if I watch an end game cutscene in the beginning of the game with a glitch, I will crash. Same thing, if I skipped an early game cutscene and I watch it in the end of the game, it would crash the game. It's just how the game is designed and programmed. And that means that even if I got the Master legitimately by beating the first 3 dungeons, if I did go to the end of the game with glitches, I could actually not beat it because I would crash the game watching them. So it happens to be that the cutscene that changes it is the FF2 cutscene right here, the one I previously watched with Tetra, because it is basically the halfway point of the game. So it's very important. I also notice here that the dragon is just kind of sitting in midair because I never raised the Tower of the Gods.
We never collected the pearls, so we never raced out of the gods, and just Valu is just hanging there, you know, it's just flying. There's nothing wrong, it's just flying.
Yeah.
It's just hanging out.
Also, coming up right here, I'm actually probably going to have to stand up, and I'm hoping that this monitor is perfectly set up with the game feed so that not a single pixel is cut off the borders of the game. If it is, I will have to do a backup setup, which is less consistent and might take me a little bit longer. But hopefully this is a good monitor and doesn't cut off any pixels of the game. Gonna move this chair in preparation.
Yeah.
While you're getting ready to standing up and doing sports, we have a $5 donation from Linkus7 saying, I want to see that Swedish sniper.
I'll do my best.
Nice.
I'll do my best.
We also have a $10 donation from Anonymous saying, just sitting in the back of the ESA booth at TwitchCon EU, enjoying your speedrun. Good luck with one of my favorite games.
Hi.
We also have a $20 donation from Wired Wiki. Tetris the Grandmaster 3 by Culex? Gotta donate for that. Also, I want to wish the best of luck to everyone out there on TwitchCon EU. I miss you all. Sad smiley face.
Alright, so right now I want to get to the other side where the barrier is. So I'm going to do an item slide right here, try an ESS change in the part of it. And if I do it at the correct time, I should be able to go through this wall right here.
It also allows us to get rid of Tetra, because Tetra is following you all around in that station. I was so close.
That's fine. It doesn't. It just puts you here.
But yeah, Tetra is a bit annoying for us in that session, because we're gonna have to target a little bit, and if she stays close to you, she's gonna be the person you will target. So it will change your angle, and it's really not what we want.
Yeah. This clip is being a little bit mean now. There we go.
Nice.
All right. So the first thing I'm gonna do
Oh wow, that was
is
fast one.
nice. I'm gonna press out the Wind Waker button on the first frame that I go into the knockback part, and then right here. Oh man, this light is really bright.
Let's see.
Nope. I'll go for the backup setup if I don't get it on this time. It's really difficult to see on this monitor right here.
This setup is really like close, if not pixel perfect, which is why Linkus is really close to the monitor right now, because he has to see 1 or 2 pixels that just come out.
Basically, in 360 degrees, there's about 90,000 angles, and only 11 of them work. Let's see if this...
was maybe not enough speed?
That was not enough speed. Let's see if it works. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go for the backup. Yeah.
Backup
then. Unfortunately, some TVs is not the best setup for it, because like I said, the precision. So unfortunately with this TV, because I'm looking for a standout pixel on the color, unfortunately it kind of makes it a little bit, I guess you can say, blurry. So it's a little bit hard to see that pixel standing out.
Yeah, even the backup setup is also really precise.
Yeah, like I said, it's only 11 values that works out of 90,000. So it's not just like aim around; it has to be exact.
Because the backup setup doesn't change the technique; it just changes the cue you look at.
Yeah.
So no matter what, you'll still have to find those 11 perfect pixels out of 90,000 of them, which is quite an insane amount.
So long as I'll try.
You want to give it a shot? Yeah.
Move you to case and $25 your way to help you out.
Thank you, thank you. Oh,
hey, nice. Awesome.
Nice. All right, 1 minute. 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 1 minute.
Did not disappoint.
Yeah, the donation did it.
Exactly.
All right, but yeah, so basically that is the only thing stopping you from going to the end of the game from the beginning of the game. And it's a very well-made barrier. Fortunately, however, a very, very small part with 2 invisible walls meet up, it can fail to check for collision. Unfortunately, though, that is such a small area. Like I said, out of about 90,000 angles, only 11 of them work. And even at home, you can take some few tries, but it becomes a little bit easier when you get used to your TV because you may kind of I literally look for an outstanding pixel that's a tiny bit brighter in the gray colors. But on this TV, it wasn't very easy to tell. So I was just kind of aiming around where I know it is and just hope that it would hit that specific pixel. Nice. So right there, I item slide on top of the door. I place out a bomb and I leave in between them. And by going towards an object, the game has a function that tells the game, okay, if an object tries to go inside or towards me, it pushes you away, right? Just like if I try and go towards a bomb, or like the wall in theory. So how I can use it to my advantage is basically by going towards the bomb on the first frame I climb the ledge, it's going to push me away with a lot of speed. Because it's like, no, 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 you can't go inside the bomb. But because of that, it's pushing me into the wall, and it pushes me through. And then I can just take out the leaf around, and completely skip the trials. And even though it looks like a small thing, that saves like 15 minutes. So it's quite the big skip. Also, the Phantom animation right here, it's always the same. Yeah. It's always down, left, up, left, right, up. You can memorize that, write that down if you ever play this game. And I kind of use item slide to make the movement a little bit faster.
While you're going through that very hard maze, as it seems like, we have another $5 from the Dutch Ginger saying, "Forgot to set my name at the previous donation, but thanks for waving at me. Heart."
Heart. Thank you, Dutch.
Not bad.
Alright.
So yeah, in this room, Phantom Ganon can do 3 different attacks. He can go behind you, which is the fastest one, because you just have to hit him with the sword. He can do the blue ball, which you just have to go under him and reflect once.
Yeah, like Tetris.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can do tennis, not Tetris. Or you can do the red ball, which is the slowest one, because you have to wait for him to fire, and then you have to do a spin attack to reflect all the projectiles.
Yeah.
So we got mid RNG. It wasn't that bad.
Also, this comes back also, by the way, to what Ned said earlier. Ned talked about why I got the quiver. You can see right now that I actually have all of the elements right now, fire, ice, and light arrows. And that's because the elemental arrows actually, like basically all the bows, if you have bow, light, fire, or sorry, bow, fire, ice, and light, fire, ice, they're all different items according to the game's values. So by getting light arrows, it gives me the bow with all elements because it's the last upgrade for it. However, like he also said earlier, it only gives you a quiver with it in Tower of the Gods. So because of that, I had to get the quiver. So now I have, thankfully, 60 arrows. If I didn't, it would just say 0.
Yeah. And now those stairs are like little, neat part for speedrunners because you can just item slide all the way up there, and exactly like that. And if you aim right, you can get double kills and make it really fast. And that was really awesome.
And this Swedish sniper thing someone was referring to earlier in the donation comes to this part. I always meme that I'm the Swedish sniper if I end up hitting a lot of these shots. Because basically, if you ever play this game, you'll know that Puppet is quite annoying and difficult of a boss. But on top of that, you're supposed to have the boomerang to cut his cords down. And I don't have that, so I need to snipe it as he's moving around. Now you can always get it to work, but you can have harder or easier cycles depending on how he moves, because he can move or stand still, which obviously makes it easier to aim. So I'm gonna try and read how he's moving and shoot a light arrow while the tail is swinging as he's moving. Which, if you do that well, you can get it to work fairly quickly. Sometimes, unfortunately, you miss, because the hitbox for the ball is very small. And in fact, the hitbox for the cord actually extends part into the ball. So many of the times you even hit the cord, but not the ball itself. So hopefully this goes well.
And one thing you can notice here is the same thing that happened in the Forsaken Fortress 2 cutscene. So what happens when you enter this room, the game has also checks that should tell to Link to have the fully upgraded Master Sword and the Mirror Shield. So same thing happens, the game automatically gives you those items because you're supposed to have it. So that's why you see in that cutscene that Link has the Mirror Shield and the fully charged Master Sword.
Yeah.
You're warming up for later?
Yeah. Alright.
Nah, let's go. Swedish Snapper time.
Come on, Kess, dude.
You can do it. Easy.
Alright, my goal was to be not get more than 1 arrow refill. Then I'll be happy.
You'll be all fine, trust me.
Alright, let's see if I can do this. Also, I need to literally sit like this and aim with my index finger because I need to shoot at the same time.
Whoa, twice? Alright, one last. Close.
Froze in the way.
Yeah.
Oh. Alright,
Cool,
I'll take
nice.
it.
Good first phase.
Yeah, except for like the first 2 shots was actually
Yeah,
perfect.
were really
Then we
good.
missed a few. That was over really, really clean. I would say that's feels okay, man. If I was streaming myself
Feels okay,
for
man.
that one.
Yeah.
Coming over here, I'm gonna have to unfortunately let him go down one, so I get an air refill. After that, or air refill, magic refill. After that, there is one trick I can do. I'll try it, but it's angle and frame perfect. Basically, you can actually hit him as he's going up after you hit him once. The unfortunate part about that is it's like I said, to get the timing, it's frame perfect, and you need a perfect angle on the analog stick.
2 drops, nice.
Yeah. But I'll try it. If I can get nade it, I have 2 tries for it, then
I
actually
see.
can hit 2 in 1. A little bit too much to the left.
Yeah.
It was the right frame, though. Oh, wow.
Whoa! Triple kill.
No
No
magic.
way!
Alright. See if I can hit it this time. Otherwise, it's fine. Oh, I can't even.
no,
Oh, I'm
the
so. I
wall,
was too close to the wall.
no.
I couldn't even try
Yeah.
it. That's unfair.
Yeah, it's the thing with the camera. If you get too close to an object or a wall, the camera is gonna like be blocked by it, so you won't be able to do full movement.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh. Can you get it?
That's unfortunate.
So yeah, you might wonder why Linkus took damage here, but he's already preparing for what's coming up next because he needs to take damage to do zombie hover next. So he had to get hit by zombie
Yeah,
again.
I had to get hit there.
Yeah,
That
you
was
had to get
actually
it.
intentional. Unfortunately, it hit me to the left there.
Mm. And you see more of that on first phase where he's also going to try to take damage. Oh god, the morphs.
I hope it didn't get more
Yeah,
glitch now.
I hope so too.
There's a rare glitch that can. Oh god, I'm rolling for that. I'm not risking
Yeah.
the round on that.
Nah,
There's a super rare glitch you can have, which I really want to
Be
avoid.
careful. Be careful, yeah. Half a heart. No.
Basically, because of marathon saves, you
Yeah.
might be like, why didn't you shoot him there? If you go through a loading zone with a morph, I can literally kill my entire round. So normally I just shoot him, because I couldn't afford a time loss, right? But if I get that rare glitch, then literally I would have to reset my entire console for it. It's this weird thing where I need for a later glitch to be able to roll with a morph on me. So because it's marathon, it's almost better to
Yeah,
risk
honestly.
getting hit and dying and losing 2 minutes than having to reset the entire console. So unfortunately, I kind of had to let myself die
'cause
there.
Wind Waker has a weird thing with morphs that if a morph is stick to you and you go through your loading zone, it has a weird chance that when you roll, the morph will just stay onto you until you bonk on something, and it basically kills the entire purpose of the next trick after Papa Ganon.
Oh, right there, if you heard the audio, you could hear that I hit the cord, but not the ball itself.
Oh, can you get it? Ooh, nice! That shot is frame perfect, if I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken.
it's a frame perfect
Yeah,
shot.
that shot is frame perfect.
All right.
So yeah,
That was a Swedish sniper.
Yeah, that was Swedish sniper for sure. So yeah, also if you saw him, if you saw Linkus just Adam slide is also really useful to reposition yourself in fights. So it's really something you can use for pretty much anything in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, because of the barrier skip thing, I need to be really fast now.
You'll be good. Yeah, you can go for a quick shot on that one. Yeah. All right.
Oh no.
No, I told you.
I was too far to the right.
Magic, please.
Yeah, if I get 2 magic drops, I can go for it. Oh.
Oh, thank you. 3? Wow, okay.
I can't even use 3.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I kind of just want to show it off. It doesn't save too much time, but... Ah.
Close, close.
Oh, thanks for the arrows.
Okay.
I already have enough magic because of
Yeah.
the drops from earlier. Alright. Thank you.
Okay,
Alright,
good
good
angle.
right way.
Alright, let's get the first phase.
We have a $5 donation from Ricky Mania saying, "Hey Linkus, just an advice, don't die."
I'm surprised that didn't hit.
Yeah, same. Nice. You should have
I
enough
think
magic?
it's just enough
Yeah.
for 2 hits. Please don't Mars. If it hatch onto me, I literally not, like, I won't go for it again. I'm just gonna hope, like, pray I don't get the glitch, honestly. I don't want to risk dying again.
Ooh, nice. Alright, that should be good.
All right.
Yep, awesome.
And hopefully I didn't get more glitch.
You should be good. I think, yeah, you didn't have any more going through their legs, so you should be fine.
All right, so like I said, you might be like, why does it even matter if you get a morph glitch that it can't roll off of you? But that's actually where the entire run comes into play here. So even though I'm able to make it perfectly to this part, this is the biggest roadblock we had for the longest time, and that is that to get to the final platform in Ganon's Tower, you actually need a hook shot. And getting the hook shot, there is no way to get it early. Absolutely zero way to get it early. And on top of that as well, getting to Wind Temple, which is where the hook shot is at, it takes a ridiculous amount of time. So, because of that, I need to be able to get to the top platform without the hook shot. And there's only one known way to gain height in this game. And unfortunately, it has some restrictions to it. So, that glitch is called a zombie hunter. So you may notice that first of all, I am on 1/4 of a heart of damage. What is that sound?
No
Anyways,
idea.
so I need to be at 1/4 of a half of heart, because for this glitch, it actually requires me to die in the game. So there's a glitch in this game where if you die and you basically can do certain actions while you're dead. I will explain it as I'm doing it because it's very hard to explain otherwise without visuals. But the biggest part about it that you should know is that basically when you're doing that glitch right there, you will die the frame you touch the ground. So you need a source of basically health in some way. And the way we get that is by using a morph. So if you do not have a morph, then you cannot actually do this trick. Well, you can, but it's not consistent. So you really want a morph to get it to work. And I hope I can get this because especially with cold hands, nervous and all, it's even just alone, it's very difficult. I'll be just in case do this.
Yeah, for safety. Good choice.
So the first part of this trick is I need to get morph glitch. Well, a separate glitch. So
it's more like
I am gonna... nice.
Not bad.
So I'm gonna stab the morph,
the left,
and he's gonna grab onto me on the same frame. And the reasoning why that's important is because basically, if you kill a morph with anything other than your Master Sword, then he will not drop hearts. And I need him to drop hearts. So I need to kill him with the Master Sword at the same frame it grabs onto me. And that's going to make him stay alive, even though it registered that I hit him with my Master Sword. Oh, that's a... Wait.
Is it? Yeah.
Back up. Okay. And then after I do that, then I'm going to try and blow him up to this platform. And he's going to basically be my rescue to this glitch. So I'm going to tap up here and make him try and jump, hopefully. Yeah, unfortunately, which way he jumps, if you jump up, left, or up, right, is luck.
And he's really being a mean person, right? Okay, good. Okay.
That should be fine. All right. So I'm going to make him jump to the corner, and here comes the hardest trick. Okay. See if I can do this.
Take your time. You're good.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
See? Easy.
So I shoot the morph with the arrow so he drops the heart, and then I kill myself with the bomb. And then you have a few frames to do an input before the game over screen starts. So I can press target and A. So I do jump slash, but because the game knows that I'm dead, it will cancel my input. But because I'm in mid-air, if I press B, then you do a mid-air jump slash, and it's just going to be like you start the jump slash and it cancels it. And because gravity is pulling you down, but every time you press B, you gain some height, I actually need to be smashing this B button. So I need to be doing that about like 12, 13 times per second, is going like to try and just continue to fight the gravity to go up. And then I need to be very careful to not land on the ground too fast, because then I can't pick up the heart. So I slightly touch the heart, it heals me, and then I can go in the loading zone.
You can think this trick is pretty hard, but before
Yeah.
Morphover, we had something called Fairy Hover. So it's all the same thing, except you have to rely on a fairy moving around, which is RNG. And it has like a 3% chance or 2% chance of working.
Yeah, 1%
So
chance.
any percent with Fairy Hover was really a pain to run, especially with that late in the run.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So ESA was actually very nice enough. When Bearscoop was found, they actually said, you know what? We know that this trick is a thing, Fairy Hover. It's luck-based. You only have a 1-2% chance. But we'll put the time estimate at 2 hours, and we get 2 runners in. And I'm sure one of them can get it within 2 hours. Nope.
No.
None of us were able to
Yeah.
finish in time. So for the rest of the events, both GDQ and ESA basically was like staying away from Wind Waker until we found a way around that, because you know, having a 2% chance to be able to finish a run at an event was awful. I mean, it's still incredibly difficult, but it's at least down to the skill of the runner, not just purely luck. Now, there's a small amount of luck, but you will get it if there are a few tries. If I say it that way, if you know how to do it.
All right, you ready for the laugh? The legendary laugh?
No, you know what I'm ready for?
Oh, God.
Will you sit down?
Sure.
So some is English here, and some is this weird Highland language. So there's a meme coming up right here. I don't know how TwitchCon crowd feels about this, but this is a tradition for all ESA runs and all GDQ runs. So coming up here, Gannon is kind of going to have a mental breakdown, and he's going to have some beautiful laughs. So everyone at home, Linkus7 or Lul in the chat. For everyone in the crowd, be ready in 3, 2, 1. All right.
Nice.
Good job.
Good job.
Good
Good
job,
job,
crowd.
crowd. Good job.
Oh yeah, he's still going, but like it's really exhausting to
Yeah.
keep going as long as he does.
He has
He has quite a long.
quite the lungs, yeah, for sure.
After that amazing laugh, I think you guys deserved some donations. We have a $25 donation from Genesis saying, "Great run. Greetings from the German restream. Swedish sniper, get him."
Give.
And we also have a $25. I can't talk anymore. The laughing was too exhausting. We have a $25 donation from Total Loss without a comment. So thank you guys.
Thank you, thank you. All right, so first off, if I die in this fight, I will actually go back to the beginning of Ganon's Tower, and it will lose me an incredible amount of time. So I'm actually going to do an Easter egg for the speedrun. So here, if you ever play this game again, and if you have a hard time beating this boss, here you know an Easter egg. If you have the grappling hook, which you always will do at this point, if you target Zelda and you grapple her, she will give you 3 hearts every time. So by doing so, I can just very simply get 3 hearts, so I don't have to deal with 1 heart, because every one of his attacks deals a full heart, which means that if I get hit a single time, I'm dead. So rather not at a marathon.
And it's also really risky because there's nothing with Ganondorf where he can do like an instant attack.
Yeah.
Which means that Link cannot even shield it, and it kills your run instantly.
Yeah, there's like a 5-10% chance of every world record and PB attempt that if he gives you an instant attack, which is luck-based, you lose the entire run. All right, the time is coming up, by the way, very, very soon, so be ready on that time.
Yeah, it's when the sword hits the
Yeah,
head.
it's when the sword goes into Ganon's face, basically.
Oh god.
Okay.
She shot really fast in that one. Wow.
Yeah, she got hit.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, there we
All
go.
right, there we go.
And time. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. All right. What is up next, by the way, on the ESA Marathon?
I don't know. Maybe we talked about it earlier
Is
before.
it Tetris?
I know, but
I think it's Tetris.
The question is about the important thing about Tetris is it going to be played in
easy mode?
Sadly, we're still $199 away from getting super tough, easy Tetris. So we only have to watch the tough Tetris.
Okay. Well, everybody watching out there, thank you for watching around. I hope you appreciate it. If you want to watch more Zelda speedruns, be sure to check out my Twitch channel, Linkus7. And also, don't forget to get those donations in for the great charity cause. Get that easy mode going. Last-minute clutch for ESA.
You can do it, guys.
But yeah, so thank you guys for having me. Thank you, ESA. Thank you, the crowd, everyone out there for watching. And enjoy some Tetris, everybody.
Yeah.
All right. All right, all right. Can you hear me?